Well, good day, folks. How are you? It's Les here. I'm going to do a little slideshow for you folks because as much as telling a story is good, there's nothing quite like a few pics to show the whole thing. And this is a celebration of life for Jan, of course, and I wanted to start at the beginning. And as far as I know, this is Jan at the beginning of her life with her first set of wheels. Huh? Little kid. And here she is with her brother Bill. Way back when. And then going back to old-timey pics, here's Bill and Jan. Jan loved this picture. Kind of nice. And then these are pics of Jan and Sarah when Sarah was young. I like these pictures. They're beautiful. There's one just sitting on the ground. It's quite nice. And then there's Jan looking questioningly at somebody, not me. And there's Jan cavarting. Now these are pictures of Jan and Sarah, of which we have a million of these. Needless to say, Sarah is the family, or our family. There's a pic that's going back to, well, I think that's in Joyce's house in West Van. Here's Sarah and Jan having a bit of fun. And this is a picture that was taken, I believe, when we were traveling from Toronto to Vancouver. On the way back, we were traveling through Florida, the southern states, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. We stayed in New Orleans and various places, ended up in Vegas, and it was quite a nice trip. That's a pic there. Here's a very old pic of Jan and Sarah. It's not great detail, but it's a beautiful picture. It's a sort of Long Beach area. Sarah when she's a little kid walking on the beach. Be fun. Here's Sarah and Jan again. A little bit of fun. And here they are in Hawaii, Jan and Sarah. And I'll leave that. And I guess we'll go to this pile here, pile of pics. This is our house in Toronto, our first house in Toronto, and this, of course, is Jan, Joyce, and Sarah. Just a pic. This is inside that house. Again, it's Jan, Sarah, and Johnny. There's Johnny sneaking in the very side of that pic. As you can see, he's got a quarter face there. And here's Jan. A very loving look in her face. I guess she was a very loving girl. That one there. And here's Jan again. Beautiful. And here's Jan giving me what for, don't know why, probably unreasonable, but whatever. And here's Jan when she's just about at the top of her her mood frame, I guess. It's a beautiful picture there. Now I do have some pictures of all sorts of gangs, different gangs that we hung out with at different times. This one is the Behenna Gang. This is Joyce, Bill, Margie, Bucky and Sharon, Johnny and Joanne, Margie and James. Up there, it's a nice family pic there. And these are pictures of Jan and I's wedding. As Jan would say, it was the luckiest day of my life, and I guess I agree, it was. There's Jan looking all beautiful in her wedding dress, and Don Janiverse in the background, my mum and Rob, and all sorts of people. And this is Jan and I doing the dance. Wouldn't miss that for the world. And here's the limo that we didn't have to hire this one because I happened to own it, and it was quite a nice limo. It had one door that worked, and it had enough power that it actually could drag these cans. It's something. And here's actually me or Jan and I taking the vow and committing our lives to each other. Again, Jan would say the luckiest thing I ever did, but that is true, probably. And here we are cutting the cake. Now, of course, there's other people getting married within our crowds and whatnot. And this is a wedding for Sam and Di down in Seattle area. And there's a pic of them. This is Sam and Di, Jean and Marla, Jan, and this, I believe, is Sam's brother. Okay, that's one pic there. And now I want to show different people that we knew as couples that were fun to be with and that formed a good part of our lives. This one here is Paul and Lindy. That's a little pic because we're just having something to eat at a restaurant. Bit of fun. And this is this is Heinz, and he's trying to make a move on Jan. He had a sweet tooth for Jan, tried to discourage it, of course, but he wasn't going to take no for an answer. And these are various assorted pictures. I guess these are mostly, this is Jan and I in different places and whatnot. This is a house in Ladner, the original house, and it was before I got all beat up building that bloody thing, but there it is. And Jan was happy about this. We designed it ourselves, and as you know, and we built it. And it was good fun. There's Jan and I, and it's looking pretty good. Jan and I had a picture, or actually, I guess this is outside Toronto. It's our Simon Street house. Had a lot of parties in that place, which I'll get to shortly. But that was one pic outside. I guess we were going somewhere. And here's a travel pic out in front of a plane. Don't know where we're going or why, but probably just to have a blast. And but there's Jan looking all nice. There's Jan looking beautiful. And this is Joyce's house, or the family home. Nice picture. And this, of course, is Jan with Johnny and myself. And this is Cypress Park. Kind of an interesting picture, I guess, in a way. Now, we get to the parties. We had 1 million parties, and we partied with a lot of different people. This one here is a party with Dawn, Jan, and assorted people right there. And here's another one with Dawn, probably the same day. Yeah, probably the same day. And this is Jan and Dawn. And here's a picture of Jan and her girlfriends back in the late 70s, maybe, or late 70s, I guess. And that's Diane, Little Jan, Marla, and of course yourself, Jan. Meant the world to Jan, those people. Jan and I and Rob and Sue went to New York City one time. Sue worked at the Sheraton Hotel and was able to get us a hotel room, which was quite spectacular. We had 3/4 of a floor of the Sheraton Hotel in New York City, and we paid $20 a night. It was great. We got free wine too. And there's a picture there. This is us horsing around on the street. My brother Rob's got a brown bag there, just in case he gets thirsty. And then there's a picture of Jan. What happened on that particular trip was Rob and I took off, and we started at the north end of Manhattan, and we went to the south end, and we pretty much went to every bar that looked interesting from there right to the south. The girls, on the other hand, went shopping. And here's Jan walking down. She's outside Radio City with her hands full. She's been busy. I'm probably bankrupt and don't know it at that moment. And this is another picture. This is Sue in the middle. Sue is Rob's girlfriend, or live-in girlfriend, or wife, common-law wife, I guess you'd call her. Rob's, again, has another beverage in his hand. Thank you, Rob. And then there's, we'll go through these ones here. This is a plane ride somewhere with Rick, myself, and Jan. And here we are, probably in the Dominican Republic. It was fun there. And then this, of course, is New York City again. Somebody's idea of a good joke, nerd on top of my head. Now, we did have a number of parties, and we didn't really need much of a reason to have a party, but we did have a number of hat parties. We had a Miami Vice party, we had murder mystery parties, we had lobster parties, we had all sorts of parties. This one here is a murder mystery, and this is it's about a bunch of gangsters. I'm the gangster, Paul is a French guy, and Rick is a Nimrod. But I'll leave that. This is a Miami Vice party. And I have another pic of that. There's Rick and I, Miami Vice. We're looking good. This is a hat party that we had way back in the days. And this is Jan, myself, Cindy, Rick, Sarah, and Barb Roach. And there's that party there. And there's an aftermath of it. That's Sarah and I mugging for the camera. Speaking of mugging for the camera, there's Shirley and Rick. Shirley unfortunately couldn't make it today, but she's 91 now, and she has trouble with her joints, and the vibration of driving it does not do her any favors, so she couldn't make it. She's been in hospital most of this year, but she is here in spirit. She loved Jan. And this is just a pretty picture of Jan. This is out in Deep Cove, our favorite area of the world, probably. This is another murder mystery party. I don't know what I was pretending to be then, but Jan, I guess, was some sort of French babe or something like that, and I was looking like some sort of guy who was being harassed by his wife. Okay, we'll leave that one. And this is a picture at Jan's house. This is numerous parties at Joyce's place. This is the Behenna girls. Or actually not counting Margie, but it's Sarah, Jan, and Joyce. And this is just a pretty picture of Jan. I guess we're on a cruise going somewhere, and it's just pretty, that's all. This is another hat party, and I like this picture because of the look on Jan's face. Is that girl beaming or what? That's how pretty that is. Okay. Another hat party. And this is a picture of the infamous Potato and Pickle 40th birthday party. It was my birthday party. And everybody, we were expecting a meal, and we got potatoes and pickles and some cheese thrown in. So that was something else again. But it was fun. It was fun. This is Sarah. 40 people showed up. It was good. It was fun. This is a lobster party. Now, you have to take a real good look at that because Rick, of course, has lobsters on his finger. Not everybody felt like putting lobster shells on their finger, but Rick did. Rick was moved to putting empty lobster skins on his fingers. Don't know why, but Whatever. But these are parties, eh? It is fun. There's a lot of parties those days. This is another trip, and this is with Paul and Lindy, and we were in San Francisco. We went down many moons ago, in the 80s, I guess, sometime, and we stayed at the Regis Hotel. It was beautiful, and had a lot of fun. And now I got to tell you that Jan loved her Vegas. And this is a picture of Atlantic City, actually. I'm sure I have pictures somewhere of Vegas, but I don't have them right now. And but Jan did win $40,000 in Vegas, so she was well. Let's say this is what a girl looks like who wins $40,000, and she's eating her well-deserved piece of cake. Eh? That was quite a day. Well, she called me up, and I was playing the slots at another part of the casino. It was Mandalay Bay, and I was losing money on a fairly steady basis. And Jan called me up and said, "Oh, well, come on over. I won $40,000." And I said, "Oh, go on, get out of here. You're pissing me off here." And she said, "No, it's true. I actually won $40,000." And she whined a bit, so I said, "Okay, I'll be over." Went over, and sure enough, this machine was flashing. You just won $40,000. And Jan was sitting there as happy as a person could possibly be. And it was fun. Now here's some more pictures. Now this is Bill and Margie's and Scott and James. And there's a picture of Jan in there too. That's in 1988 actually. Now here's Jan in a picture in our new house, which we built I guess in 91, 90. And we built it. It was a modern type of house. It was a nice house. Jan was happy with it, I guess. And now these are some old-timey pictures, which I just like these pictures. This one here is a picture of Jan. I love that picture right there. I love it so much I'm shaking. There we are. And there's another picture of Jan, again, beaming. She was good at beaming. And speaking of beaming, here's a picture of my brother Rob. Now this just fit in here, I don't know why, but it's just there, so there it is. This is a picture of Jan and Bill, and just a fun little picture, really. 91 or so. And this is a picture of Jan and I in all our glory. There we are, right there. And of course, Sarah's wedding was a huge venture for all of us. Meeting Alan, who was a godsend to the family, and made Sarah happy, and made Jan happy, and myself as well, I guess. Now, I should have more pictures of that, but there they are.